Journalism has been disrupted by the digital revolution. Journalism has been around for quite a long time, and as time has gone on, journalism has progressed. However, the digital revolution came forth and brought the internet and social media into our world and completely changed what journalism is all about. For example, in the past, journalists would have to go to school and get a degree in communications or journalism. Not everyone could be a writer, and there are certain methods taught to you in order to be a journalist. Today, however, it seems as though everyone could be a journalist because now it is just about having a voice and finding a place to speak out. The Cluetrain Manifesto stated, Internet connected people to each other and provided a space in which the human voice would be rapidly rediscovered. The digital revolution brought us technology. It gave us resources to use the internet, and now people are able to speak loudly using any type of social media they can access. This changed the whole idea of who a journalist is. Can a blogger now be seen as a journalist? Because with the help of digital revolution, bloggers now have a voice. Forget having to follow the rules and guidelines that journalists has to follow, because with the use of the World Wide Web, they have taken freedom of speech to another level. The World Wide Web has created a new era for journalists. The article made a strong point when discussing the web. The World Wide Web reinforces freedom. The internet roots around obstacles. Here's another change that occurred due to the digital revolution. The digital revolution disrupted distribution of journalistic news. In the past, when looking for any type of information or news or even gossip, we looked to the newspaper and magazines. We looked for the newspaper to hear stories from journalists. However, due to the digital revolution, that has all changed. In the lecture, we looked at different sites that had news stories on them. You don't realize the different sites that are out there on the web. Each of these sites are pushing out news stories daily. Why look to newspapers when you have the World Wide Web? Internet is used for journalistic news, and that isn't such a bad thing. The idea that you can now use the web in order to find access to thousands of different stories is a great thing for journalism and journalists. However, because digital revolution technology is evolving a lot more rapidly than probably expected, and areas such as the distribution of newspapers and magazines now take a hit. Digital revolution has changed all areas of communications, and it will continue to change them. Sometimes it is more than adapting. It is more about adapting along with the changes that digital revolution created rather than fighting it. The benefits of being able to speak out loud without restrictions are huge. Yes, we do have to deal with internet restrictions and risk things being taken down, but at least with the web, it gives you a better chance at speaking out. The digital revolution created writers. It created thousands of voices and opinions. Yes, the digital revolution disrupted journalism, but it helped to turn it into something better. A place to dig deeper using the web to get more information on a certain topic, to stand up for what you think is right and be able to post it worldwide, to connect with people around the world just to tell a story. Sure, there are some downfalls, but what revolution is perfect? And because I think that this will only continue to grow, we should just learn to adapt. Digital revolution has definitely changed journalism. I think one of the biggest things is even if you look at things such as the internet, we post everything on the internet when it comes to stories. We post stories about politics, about sports. It's all on the internet. We don't look to newspapers anymore because we don't need to. It's completely too accessible to us. Using our phones in order to get on the web to type something in about a news story. Being able to send a story to a friend goes a lot better than having to let your friend borrow a newspaper. Journalism was definitely disrupted by digital revolution, but I don't think that it was so terrible for it. I think that there are a ton of areas in communications that have been disrupted by digital revolution, and that some of them may be worse off, but journalism is not one of them. Everyone's looking to be able to speak out loud and give their own opinion about a certain topic. Politics is a huge topic where most people have their own opinion. When you were a journalist, you were told that to not be biased. You had to be the person on right down the middle, especially when it came to politics. You couldn't lean one way or the other. However, because of digital revolution, it gave you a chance in order to speak out about whatever you want. If you had a politician that you didn't like, if you had a certain opinion about a law passed, You just go on the internet and you're able to post it. You're able to look at what other people have to say. You connect to people that you don't even know because of some topic, opinion, or story that you feel strongly about. I think that the digital revolution really helped journalism. I definitely think that yes, there are some flaws and there could be some downfalls, but I think that if you look overall at the big picture, that the benefits definitely outweigh each of the drawbacks. I definitely think that as time goes on, journalism will continue to become influenced by the changes in digital revolution. It's going to have to learn to adapt to them because it's not going away anytime soon. I do think that sometime in the future that there will be a time where journalism becomes into question of what it really means to be a journalist. I think that people who are bloggers who are able to post things online, they're not truly journalists. Journalists have to follow rules. They have certain guidelines that they have to follow. They go to school to learn these certain guidelines. They go to school to be taught how to be a journalist. And bloggers are just speaking freely. I definitely think that every area of communications is going to continue to be affected by digital revolution as it continues to evolve, because it will continue to evolve. And I think that there's definitely going to be benefits to it, but with every benefit, I definitely think that there will be some drawbacks. So I just hope that as digital revolution does continue, that it just continues to bring out good benefits and we learn to adapt and change along with them.